Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, so sorry. So sorry. I'm having a network challenge at my end.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, sorry. I was having a network challenge at my own end. But at least I'm back. Are you there?
Sorry for the short break too.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. At least we have bounced back. Yeah, so we are looking at issues of trafficking, slavery, labor, exploitation, and all of that. Forced prostitution, human trafficking, forced servitude, labor, exploitation. What do you understand by labor exploitation? Does any of you have an idea? Labor exploitation.
I believe it's here they came.
Huh?
Sir, can I make an attempt, please?
Okay, please do.
From my own understanding, labor exploitation is a form of maybe you giving somebody out to do a job, and then maybe you're the one taking the salary when you are giving a stipend to the person doing the job. I don't know if I'm correct.
Okay. Yeah, that could actually be another form of labor exploitation. Yes, any other person with a different view?
Hello, sir. I don't know if we talked about work environment labor.
Work environment labor.
Yes. Maybe I didn't really put it very well. For instance, someone who is working in an environment, but your workload is not in commensuration with what you're being paid. I don't know if that
Yes.
is a labor, or I don't know how to put it, but it's labor.
Yes, it's labor exploitation.
All right, sir.
We actually see this in so many places, especially maybe in private settings.
Private school, sir.
I didn't say schools, though, but in the private setting. So maybe, if, of course, if the school is private, it's possible it might fall under that category, where one is actually saddled with a lot of work with little what? Pay. Do you understand?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
understand? Yes. So, especially in the private setting, they will make sure that they have maximally made use of you. And then what they pay you in return is just so meager. It's actually a form of what? Labor exploitation. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so as much as possible, labor exploitation should be what? Discouraged. Any question? Is there any question? Is there any question? Any question? Are you with me?
Sorry, sir. I was
Yes, we are
actually.
with you, sir.
Okay, all right. So let's proceed. Then let's look at verbal violence. Verbal violence, which could actually manifest in cases like ridiculing, stroke shaming. You try to ridicule somebody and actually put the person to shame through verbal what? Words, or verbal intimidation or bullying. Yeah, there are some cases where some persons, the way they will talk to you, especially in the public, before people, it will be so bad that you really feel so ashamed. Do you understand? It's actually verbal violence, and it's actually a form of gender what? Gender abuse. As much as possible, everyone has his or her own rights and dignity as a person, as a human being. And as much as possible, those rights should be adhered to. But then we see that even in the family, you discover that there is a way. Even the parents should talk to the children. And once there is anything short of that, even the children, they will feel so ashamed. There is a way at times somebody talks to you, and then you really begin to wonder, am I actually a human being? Do you understand? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's actually a form of verbal what? Violence. Then we have verbal intimidation or bullying. How can somebody intimidate somebody verbally? Does any of you have an idea? Verbal bullying. What do we mean by that? What do you understand by verbal bullying?
Talking down on people and
Yes.
body shaming people.
Yes. And some people are so good at this, and it's quite bad. It's quite bad. It's actually a form of verbal violence on people. And as much as possible, it has to be discouraged. Then we have sexual jokes, hate speech on the basis of what? Of gender. You see, by the time you are making some kind of jokes, especially as it pertains to sexual line, it's an abuse, it's a form of gender violence on someone. Especially when the person is not in tune with that. When the person is actually not very comfortable with it, and you are trying to actually force it on the person also, is a form of violence. And as much as possible, it should be discouraged. And then hate speech on the basis of gender. For the fact that, oh, this is a lady, and then there has been an incident that took place also. Maybe a lady did that. And then you have now decided to generalize that ladies all ladies do this, do that. Is hate speech on the basis of gender. You know, in most cases, women will always say this: men are the same, right?
Sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir. We are with
Yes. So there are cases where ladies will say that men are the same. So how can you make that generalization? And as such, when you make that kind of statement, you try to, any man at all, you try to give him same treatment, because to you, already you have concluded that all men are the same. Just as a man will say that all ladies are the same, women are the same. It is actually hate speech on the basis of gender. I feel that one should be treated based on who he is or who she is and what the person does, not necessarily on the basis of gender. If not, that becomes a form of gender-based violence. Is that clear? Is that clear?
yes.
So, what are the indirect effects of gender-based violence on children? Does gender-based violence actually have some effect on children?
Yes, sir. It does, sir.
Okay. So, in practical ways, how do gender-based violence have an effect on children? Any attempt?
Let me make an attempt,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
The effect
Okay, please go ahead, Lizzie.
somehow shaping the life of the child. As the child is growing, if the child was involved in any of the gender-based violence, the child will be traumatized. And as he or she is growing, that trauma will be there, and then it will lead to a lot of things on the child, like loss of confidence. Let me use that word. I know there are many other things, but as a child is growing with the trauma, the confidence to speak will not be there again, and she will lose confidence in herself completely.
Okay, thank you very much for that contribution. You see, we talked about verbal bullying, a situation where in the family, the parents, now maybe in the public, decide to talk so bad of the child before people. You know, that child will actually live with that. And just as you mentioned, that self-confidence, the child will grow up not actually having that confidence. When you are saying that before people, you are saying that, this, in fact, this my son, it doesn't amount to anything. In fact, he won't even be anything in life, the way he's living and all of that. You see, already you have run to conclusions also. So the guy will feel that such a child will feel that, oh, already I've been written off. And the child lives with that. In another way, maybe if the child, a girl, maybe a girl, for instance, a girl child, a teenager, teenage girl has been maybe abused sexually, maybe through rape. Such a girl will live with such maybe trauma. Such a girl will live with such trauma over time. And then one bad thing about this thing is that in most cases, such maybe children, by the time they grow up, they will always look for an opportunity to revenge. They will always look for opportunity to revenge. I have seen some cases where some persons have actually admitted that I decided to be an army officer because when I was a little child, so person maltreated my father, maltreated my mother. And now within myself, I vow that I must become maybe a military person or personnel so that I can actually carry out revenge. So you can now see the motive of such a person becoming maybe a military officer and all of that, a security personnel. Instead of him to or her to actually go in with the notion to actually serve the nation and serve the people, the primary aim of actually being there is actually to what? To revenge. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Have you actually seen cases like that? Have you actually seen some cases like that?
Yes, sir.
There are some children that some persons have done some things, maybe to their parents when they were small and all of that. Things that they were not really so comfortable. But then, to some extent, at that point, they were helpless. And they lived with such, with the hope that one day they will revenge. And so they decide to now take a certain line of action in their lives, maybe their career or so, with the hope that they will revenge on behalf of their parents. So some of these things, when they happen to children, it leaves a very lasting trauma. And then in most cases, the children will live to be what? Victims of what? Revenge. Is that clear?
Yes.
Then another issue is running away of trust issues and all of that. There are some cases where some people, because you have had very bitter experiences with them, the fact of you leaving them alone is enough for you to actually try as much as possible to keep off from them, so that you actually don't come in contact with them. And there are some cases where maybe somebody did something, maybe to a child, and then the child, as the child grows up also, to some extent, such a child begins to maybe lose some maybe trust on the person. Is that clear? It can even be on the society completely. Yes. There are cases where some people have maybe give up even on the general society, not just an individual. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay, take for instance, you can imagine, okay, let's say in Benue State, what happened recently in Yelwata? It was actually a very terrible thing where in some cases, some families were wiped out. In some cases, maybe a child was left. How will that child live for the rest of his life or her life? Such a child definitely will begin to have some trust issues, not just even on maybe an individual, but maybe on the nation as a whole. Because such a child will feel that, oh, the nation has really failed him or her. And will begin to have some trust issues. You certainly begin to have some trust issues. So when gender-based violence is being meted on children, it can actually give room for all of this. Then there could be cases of what? Neglect. There could be cases of neglect. So how can neglect here be an effect of gender-based violence on children? Anybody that wants to share with us on that?
Yes, sir. Something to say, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, when we are talking about these running away from trust issues, I have understand now because in the course of my life, I've met some people like in my circle that have serious trust issues, and I used to be amazed at the level of their not trusting. And little thing, they tend to be suspicious, and I don't know if I'm being heard.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Am I being heard?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Please
sir.
go
So
ahead. Yes.
yes, sir. So it was really giving me concern because like looking at myself and these persons, like serious trust issues, and it has led them like suspecting little things. They seem to be suspicious even when you make harmless statements. They read meanings to it, interpret it in a way. So I used to be amazed at the gravity of their trust issues. But with these course that this topic you are treating now, I actually understand where this issue is actually coming from. Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, so in most cases, it may not just be because of you, but because of what the person has actually suffered from other persons also, that he or she now begins to have such trust issues. Because by the time such a person meets another person, he will now begin to feel and assume that, oh, this person too will not be trusted and all of that. So it's actually an effect of gender-based violence on children. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So there could be cases of maybe fear, anxiety, and being orphaned. You see, some children could really be unnecessarily afraid, and then with very high level of anxiety. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There are some children that can unnecessarily be so afraid because of maybe the kind of torture they go through, the kind of gender-based violence that has been meted on them. And then they tend to really have some high level of anxiety. And then some could actually be orphaned and all of that. So all of these are what indirect effects of gender-based violence on children. So have we seen this lady carrying this baby?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so this is Rahama. Rahama is actually a 13-year-old mother, the mother of a 1-year-old boy. She was raped by a neighbor who had powerful what? Friends, right? She was what? Terrified. She was terrified. He would kill her if she told anyone, but her family found out she was what? Pregnant. They reported the crime to the police. They were encouraged to settle the case, and initially they had no success. Seeking justice, a pro bono lawyer. Who is a pro bono lawyer? Does any one of you have an idea, a pro bono lawyer?
No, sir, from my end, sir.
Okay. Yeah, these are people that could offer services free of charge. You know that I think there is a group of lawyers that offer such services, especially to the less privileged, those that could not really pay for maybe legal services. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So a pro bono lawyer took on Rahama's case and finally got the rapist arrested and put behind bars. Rahama says she doesn't like her baby, as it reminds her of what happened. She wants to go back to school and become a lawyer. Right? Now, what we discussed earlier, can you see that Rahama now wants to go back to school to become a lawyer? Mind you, the rapist was actually apprehended, was actually identified. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So now, what? Now, so Rahama now going back to school to become a lawyer. Her own motive of going back to school to become a lawyer possibly could be that he wanted to what? Deal with the what? These rapists. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You know, I was telling you where children that can be abused or children that gender-based violence has been meted upon them would actually learn to or live to actually see ways in which they can actually revenge if given any slightest opportunity. I think that is actually what played out here. One, the presence of that child, wherever Rema sees the child, it reminds her of the what? Of the rapist. And at the point now, she started now feeling that she will go back to school to maybe become a lawyer so that she will actually seek redress, seek justice. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's actually when gender-based violence is being meted on children, it lives with them for some time. And that could actually have some long-term consequences. So let's look at the power relations and then on the gender-based violence. So the question is, who can decide? So who can decide in this case? When you are talking about power relations and gender-based violence, the question is, who can actually decide? Okay. Anybody that wants to give it a try? Anybody that wants to give it a try?
First of all, sir, is the concept under discussion, power relations and gender-based violence.
Yes.
Let's first of all understand the concept before we can make an attempt to those questions.
Okay, the concept of what?
Power-based or power relations and gender-based violence. I truly don't understand what it is meant by.
Okay, so what we are trying to say,
Yes,
the power relations here, what are the institutions? Who are those to actually stand firm to see to it that gender-based violence is actually being avoided or is being brought down to the minimal level? Do you understand?
yes, sir.
Yes, and that is why we're saying, who can decide? So you say that we have education. You know, education can actually liberate people through a force. Yes. So by the time people are actually exposed to level of education, formal education, that will actually give them or broaden their own horizon in different ways for them to come to actually know and understand their own rights and all of that. And then when you look at the paid work, by the time somebody has something to do, you will actually have the economic power better to actually withstand or stand against certain things. Do you understand?
Yes.
And then the type of job. Is it a job that one is actually happy doing? You know, there are some jobs, some persons at times could actually be subjected to jobs that could be demeaning and all of that. Do you understand? So when people actually have access to jobs that can actually give them the power to actually stand their grounds, to see to it that gender-based violence is brought under minimal levels or so. It goes a long way to really see to it that gender-based violence issues or cases are really brought down. Do you understand? And then the issues of maybe property, owning properties, where maybe some persons are being deprived or maybe having access to properties, certain properties, maybe through inheritance and all of that. And then health care. If there is proper health care, people could actually be able to a very large extent, see to it that some gender-based violent cases are actually brought under minimal levels. Is that clear? Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any question? Any question? Is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so we have seen that here are the different kinds of gender-based violence and how they actually occur. We have physical violence, which can happen anytime, anywhere, to any woman or girl. So what does the data says in this regards? Data have it that almost 1 in 3, that is 31% women aged 15 to 49 have experienced physical violence in Nigeria. That is what the data is saying. And then for many women and girls, home is not a safe place. For many women and girls, home is not a safe place. How true is that? How true is that? Eh? That for many women and girls, home is not a safe place. That is to say that there is a high level of gender-based violence that could be meted out on what? On women and girls in the home. Do you understand? Are you with me?
We are with you, sir. We
Okay. Okay, you go to a particular house, you see boys and girls, children. You see them and you discover that in most cases the male child or the boys could be so free and almost everything is being left for the girl child just because she's a lady. And so to such girls or a girl, the home will not be seen as a very safe place. Because such a person will now walk and walk and walk and be so exhausted. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that is why we say that for many women and girls, home is not a safe place. So what is the data telling us here? That half of girl child who experienced sexual violence experienced it at home. Yes, it could be in terms of maybe sexual violence, the girl child is worst hit at home. And so to many, the home is not a very safe place. Their parents need to watch out. Children are particularly at risk. Take the case of Rahama that was being raped. Parents really need to be on the watch out. So what is the data saying here? 1 in 4 girls, including very young ones, experience sexual violence. Boys are also affected. 1 in 10 boys experience sexual abuse. Then we have sexual assault on women and girls is a public health issue. And the data is saying that 86% of people presenting for medical attention due to sexual assault in healthcare facilities are women and girls. So it is a matter of life and death. That is what? What is actually a matter of life and death here? Huh?
It could
Are you
be
with
on
me?
the side. Yes, sir.
Huh? Okay,
The
so what
side
is the matter of life and death here? Cases of what? Gender-based violence. There are some of them that could actually claim the life of the persons or the persons involved. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there are cases where maybe the husband has been involved in a very heated fight with the lady, with the wife, and eventually that leads to the death of such a woman. So gender-based violence in most cases could be a matter of life and death. So the data is saying that Nigeria is the country where nearly 20% of all global maternal death happens, while only 1 in 10 women solely decide on their health care. During COVID-19 lockdown, that is the COVID-19 lockdown pandemic, it led to what? Widespread violence against women. And the data is saying that domestic violence that time rose by 297% in 1 month. In 1 month alone. So it is that serious. So all of these are indicators of gender-based violence and how data actually supports this. We have consequences of gender-based violence on health. It can lead to death, can lead to suicide, where somebody feels that he can't live with such trauma. So the person just ends up maybe committing suicide or murder. Then there could be cases of maternal stroke, infant mortality. So sexual and reproductive health issues, issues of abortion, miscarriage, infertility, sexual disorders, unwanted pregnancies, STDs. You know, by the time rape is being carried out on maybe the lady or even the man, cases of sexually transmitted diseases could set in. Then consequences of gender-based violence on psychological and emotional, mental disorders, depression, anxiety, and all of that. There could be fear, anger, aggression, shame, lack of trust. And then there could be addictions and substance abuse, where some persons now decide to indulge in taking of drugs to actually forget about all of that. And then consequences of gender-based violence on social could lead to rejection, stigma, blame, withdrawal, where some persons just decide to stay on their own and all of that. There will be cases of forced marriages and all of that. Then, what are the complex factors contributing to gender-based violence in Nigeria? We have gender inequality. Of course, if there is a gender equality, to a very large extent, cases of gender-based violence will be minimized. At times, some of our weak laws, and even the enforcement also could contribute to gender-based violence. Lack of access to education, where maybe the girl child knows her rights, that even as a lady, these are her own rights and all of that. Then issues of poverty. At times, because of poverty, some persons are actually thrown into some of these things. It's not as if some persons actually want to indulge in certain things, but because of poverty, they're being pushed into those things. So the family dynamics and the culture of silence makes it difficult for the law to be applied. There are some cases, let's say cases of maybe rape. The family decides to just keep quiet so that shame won't be brought upon the family also. So what are the efforts to address gender-based violence in Nigeria? It could be through legislative means where laws are being made, maybe state houses of assembly, the National Assembly, and all of that. Then government initiatives. By the time government now bring maybe some programs that could actually help maybe advocacy to actually reduce cases of gender-based violence. Then the efforts of civil societies can also help in reducing gender-based violence. So gender-based violence related laws in Nigeria. We have the Violence Against Persons Prohibition, the Child Rights Act of 2003, and all of that. These are some of the laws in Nigeria to actually check gender-based violence. Any question? Is there any question? Is there any question?
None for now. Let's proceed.
Okay, then we have the Maputo Protocol. Okay, we have the Maputo Protocol. We have the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, Convention on the Rights of the Child. All of these are gender-related ratified international laws in Nigeria that helps in curbing or reducing gender-based violence. So what are the issues with these laws? Some states have not actually adopted some of these laws. The religious and customary influences can affect the adoption of the laws in some states. The family dynamics and the culture of silence makes it difficult for the law to be applied. So what are the government initiatives? Establishment of the National Sexual Assault Referral Center, Spotlight Initiative. All these are just initiatives of the government in trying to see that gender-based violence is actually brought under minimum levels. We have the civil society efforts. Many NGOs are working to raise awareness of gender-based violence, provide support services to survivors, and advocates for legal reform, community mobilization efforts to challenge harmful social norms that perpetuate violence through the widespread use of social media. Is that clear? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So are there questions at this point? Are there questions?
Yes, sir.
Are there some concerns?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
My question is,
Yes.
for gender-based violence that we have emphasized today,
Yes.
or at this point, there are some certain persons. When we are speaking about what is the power division and gender-based, speaking about education, some persons are enlightened.
Yes.
You see some of these people hanging around Uruku Market and other places. That is a Yaman Park and other places.
Yes.
And to consciously go into this, and then it is basically go into these the activities. Could this equally be tagged as gender violence? Because they are educated, some truly doesn't lack anything, and let's say it's for the sake of a job or whatever paid, but they are indulging in these things. So what will this activity be classified to be? Would that be gender violence? What?
Okay, some persons hanging around you say Uruku Market?
Yaman Park.
Okay,
that
sorry,
is
Yaman Park.
On the feminine gender. Who hang around there to be picked up. I want to be brought and picked out for some, they call them hookup girls or what.
Okay.
So in the end, is this their act tag or classify as gender violence?
Yes, yes, it is. It is. Because those persons are actually taking advantage of the feminine gender. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, they are. And maybe to some extent, because they have the resources, they feel they are on the advantaged position. And then they're using their own advantaged position on those ladies. So it's actually a form of abuse. Do you understand?
Yes.
So it's actually a case of gender-based violence.
Those girls, those ladies willingly and consciously stepped out there to carry out what they tag to be their business.
You know, somewhere, you know, in our discussion somewhere, we actually made mention of poverty. Some of them is actually out of poverty.
Yes.
Yes, some of them is actually out of poverty that they indulge in those things.
Some is not out of poverty. Some will be out of civilization. We are a university undergraduate. So a university, we should live a campus life or a university undergraduate life.
So is there any campus anywhere that actually promotes promiscuity?
No, particularly a campus
among the students.
No.
No.
Even this is no campus, but they perceive it now. When they are admitted into school, they'll say campus life, and then you see them going up the juvenile one, the one that came as JJC.
Okay, the fact is that what we are saying is, as much as possible, even if those ladies are out there, men should not take advantage of them to exploit them sexually. As far as they do that, is actually a form of gender-based violence on those ladies.
It's okay.
Yes.
Sir,
It's okay.
sir, I
Yeah,
have something to
Grace.
say.
Yes. Okay, please
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. What
You're
if in a society where that is allowed, what he just mentioned, what my colleague, my classmate mentioned, in a society where frown at it is part of their culture, will this be considered as gender-based violence?
Sorry, a situation where what?
Maybe in a particular society where
Yes.
that particular act is allowed, because another society may frown at it, another society might be part of them, like part of what is
Okay.
will it be
Okay, the society that
gender-based
allows
violence? Will it
okay,
be
the society
gender-based
that
violence?
allows the female gender to go out there
First,
for the men to actually have maybe some intimate engagement relationships with them.
yeah, like is allowed, they can go into those sexual.
Well, I actually doubt any society, so for any culture that actually promotes promiscuity. I don't think I've actually seen one or heard of one. I think
even if there's one,
Okay, let me add up something.
okay.
Like we have seen in the Western world, like currently, Donald Trump identified like two particular gender, like
Yeah.
male
and female.
like male and female.
Yes.
And before then, others were allowed, like you can be a transgender and all that. Then I've also seen where people come out naked in streets. They say it's part of their community. They are allowed, no arrest is done. They are allowed. They are expressing their rights. So I'm asking because I know that there are some society that have something similar to this. Will it be considered gender-based violence?
You know, towards the end of our class, we actually discussed the challenges of some of these laws on gender-based violence. And we have also seen that some cultures also could actually go a long way in actually affecting gender-based violence. So that could actually be, if it is a law of a nation also, yes, that may be the weakness of such a law as it pertains gender-based violence. You understand?
Yes, and then I think our question should be responded to in this way. Irrespective of it being an acceptable norm in that society, it doesn't surpass the idea, that is the standard that is accepted globally. So to that particular society, it may be it is overlooked, but the global community frowns at that. So that is the essence of what we are studying now, to strengthen those weaknesses of some society or communities that are here to meet up with global standard.
All right.
I think,
thank you very much. Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. So any other question or view to share? I guess at this point there is none.
I have something that I earlier want to share related
okay,
to
please.
related
Please
to that the debate we were having, and then time was fast going, related to
Yes.
exhausting our flight. And that issue that Elizabeth was discussing, that she thought property of a deceased wife should not
Yes.
be given to the husband, should be given to the children. Or in the case of a woman that lost, that she was being of bias or judging based on she's a woman. She was looking at it at that angle that tomorrow the man will marry, and then the wealth of the late wife will be consumed or be enjoyed by the present wife, and then the children will be relegated, will be pushed aside, and then the man will be living a comfortable life with the children. But first, not just to African setting, and this marriage itself is a social contract. Being a social contract, property, even children in a customary court or this thing, when there's a dispute, children can equally be shared.
Yes.
So like the situation where was it Samson that said the wife of somebody, she was unable to conceive, and then they were pushing her out. They wanted her car, and they wanted those items she brought from her home. I think it was in the process of marriage that the man, on their wedding day or traditional marriage day, that these items were given. The father didn't give her those things as birthday gifts. He gave her as parting gift to the family as she was going to form her own family. So those things constitute properties of a social contract. They are not in totality the properties of the woman. They are properties of that marriage. So if the union no longer holds, those properties are to be shared. It's not solely her own, because the receipt or particulars of that has imprinted her name. What constituted the presentation of those items was marriage, which the man was equally involved. It was not only the lady, though they may be coming from her friend, her relations, or her father, as the case she presented. But the event that caused for that presentation was marriage. That is what I perceive. And then in other instance, she was talking about a man remarrying. What, in a situation where we're agitating here that family members should not possess the properties of that man, with the woman, in some scenario, when they say they are living, the women are living as heir apparent or caregiver, they possess this thing and start using these resources outside the family line that have suffered with their late husband. They can bring in any man, anybody, and then start dashing out those properties or consuming. The man come purportedly with the intention to consume, that the woman has resources just to come and get the wealth and go away. It's not to do anything, any good to those persons, to the orphans and the widow, than to possess those things and go. But when the family members possess this, they have the feeling that their brother suffer and acquire this. So they guide, in as much as they may be benefiting from it, they will still want the name of their brother or the wealth of their brother continue, rather than an intruder or an external person come in to get it to develop or build his family. So these things, when we go into it debating, we should keep sentiment of gender aside and see reality. Me, on the part of women, when it comes to advocating for them in that manner, I stand out as if I am not a man. But when they see situation like this, the issue that doesn't play there is that forecasting that the man may go and marry. If he marry, he's still the head of his family. If he decides not to consider the children of his late wife, it is an a habit he has. It's not because that woman has come to corrupt his mind. He equally, if the woman was leaving, he may keep them aside and lavish his wealth in beer parlors and other places, not because a woman just stepped in. So that is the contribution I wanted to contribute at that time. But I consider that our time to share the slide or exhaust it was fast.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jaffe. Thank you so much, everybody. So we have actually come to the end of our class.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So I want to assume that you have groups. You have been grouped already.
Yes, sir.
So how many groups do you have? So that we can just maintain those groups.
First rep, I think 3.
How many groups? Huh? How many groups?
First rep is trying to echo them.
Hello, sir. Can I be?
Okay, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, we have in the previous class, but your helps you are so recently into 5 different groups.
Okay. For the purpose of this class, yes, we maintain the five groups, right?
It's all right, sir.
So,
Okay, sir.
yeah, so this is what I want you to do. You may engage in an activity that you may have to present. That is on a group basis, not as individuals, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, so the forms of gender-based violence. Group 1, I want group 1 to actually get a scenario as it pertains sexual lines of gender-based violence. Do you understand?
Yes.
I don't know whether you understand that. A scenario revolving around the sexual aspect of gender-based violence. So as a class, as a group, that is group 1. You look into that and then you come and share with us what you have. I mean, when I say a scenario, I think you understand what I mean.
Yeah, situation.
Then group 2 can find a scenario involving physical aspect of gender-based violence to share with us. Group 3, psychological. Group 4, socio-economic. Right?
Yes, sir.
Then group 5. I want group 5 to look at the legislations pertaining gender-based violence in Nigeria. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Please, can you again? I was locked out, sir.
Okay. You mean I should start all over again or the last one?
You should start Sir, please, sir.
Okay, I said group 1 should actually bring out a scenario on sexual gender-based violence. Then group 2 to look at the physical, bring out a scenario bordering on physical gender-based violence. Then group 3, psychological. Group 4, socioeconomic. And then group 5 should look at the various legislations in Nigeria bordering on gender-based violence. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
right.
When
So-
are we presenting it, sir?
2 weeks, in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Thank-
exactly 2 weeks away from today.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for the time. For your
Class rep
attentiveness,
presenting it
your-
how? Presenting it how? Did you ask him? He said 2 weeks. Did you ask him presenting it how? On media or where?
See, consider that what is
2 weeks.
involved presentation is when we come for it.
So,
Can you hear him say 2 weeks? What are you saying? Which one be presentation? Can you hear him saying 2 weeks?
It's on
Yes,
2
okay.
weeks.
Do it. Are
Yes,
we coming for exams 2 weeks?
What is the issue?
The course rep was not actually rushed to ask when to
Okay,
submit.
so we are done. That's time.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Seeing this. In 2 weeks time is virtual now. There's no need of asking it. 2 weeks time we're not in the school. So if you say 2 weeks time is virtual,
you have to don't worry. We have his contact. We are going to ask him question. When issue like this arise,
He
let's
just
allow
said
him
2
to
weeks.
finish. We can ask our question.
He said
We are
Yes.
so in a hurry.
No, he said presentation. You were logged off. The course rep was logged off. While she came, she hastily asked of when to submit. But those of us who were online, he said, we'll make presentation. Are you making a Zoom presentation? No, it is supposed to be a one-on-one presentation. I think that is.
when it says 2 weeks, it means his own presentation because 2 weeks we are not in the school already. We are still having 2 weeks time. Of course, it's presentation now.
So you anyway, people defend their,
have told us
project
during
on Zoom, so it is virtually right if you say 2 weeks. So let's be working towards that. But you can still contact him to confirm if it meant a physical presentation or
brother is online. He's online.
Then we still contact him. Even giving us his material. I don't know why you people are in a hurry. Let's just hold on. When he finish what he's saying, then we can ask him question. Someone was just talking at the background, and it's not nice. We have to hold that.
It's okay, no problem. As for me, I was just listening.
Let me
It's
log up.
became intense.
Whatever will be communicated to us, I'm going to get, I have his contact already. I have been communicating with him. So whatever it is, he will send us a message. Then I will put it for all of us to
It's okay. My group. Okay, I'll chat my group members. Let's start the assignment. They say the other one. They say on 30th. So let's begin something. It's all right. Can somebody hear me?
Hello, Japheth.
Yeah, the audio.
I can hear you.
Joseph, are you on my group?
No, I'm on Elizabeth group, but I didn't even get the man clearly. My network was disturbing.
It's okay. What
So I'll ask her later.
Elizabeth got him clear, so she will intimate you. There's no issue.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
So,
I'm not saying you just do some print if it give you issue. And this place.
Joseph, which thumbprint are you doing now?
He said,
Joseph, which thumbprint are you doing now? Make I come.
yes, you said what?
I say, which
Okay,
thumbprint are
sorry.
you doing?
I'm in the
You know
office.
the thumbprint they give money this time, so I won't come.
It's hard now. It's BVN.
It's okay. It's all right now, tough. Let me leave the class.